Meanwhile, an ABC News investigation with our own stations is shedding a light on racial disparities in police departments across the country. It found that in many cities, police departments are often overwhelmingly white compared to the communities they're policing. And the diversity in police departments may play a role in arrest trends. An ABC investigation found that in 2019, in metro areas where just 10% of police officers were people of color, Black people were 5 times more likely to be arrested as white people. But in metro areas where at least half police officers were people of color, Black people were only twice as likely to be arrested as their white counterparts. Our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas has more.
Let's go. On this April night in North Las Vegas, Andrea Hollingsworth, a Black woman who is deaf, displays her utter fear of police. As an officer approaches her on a Wednesday evening last month, she's nervous, agitated, and begins recording the encounter on Facebook Live. Her 11-year-old twins are watching from the back seat. Police are responding to a call about possible harassment. In a few seconds, the encounter starts to unravel. The officer pulls her out of the car.
Out, out. Come on. Come on. Let's go.
Hollingsworth, unable to read the officer's lips, is confused. Moments later, a scuffle ensues and ends up with Hollingsworth on the ground, handcuffed, her children screaming. She later tells a local Fox station,
"My kids are afraid because of all of the incidents that have been happening recently. And, you know, they're raised Black in this community. So when they see a police officer, they're also on high alert."
Don't tell her to put her hands behind her back.
Police issued a statement saying they take community complaints seriously, and that in this case, the officer responded to a call about harassment and only briefly detained Hollingsworth after she did not comply with commands. The police noted that Hollingsworth indicated she was deaf, but police did not explain why they did not seek sign language services. In recent years, racially tinged police encounters have sparked tension in the Las Vegas region. In Las Vegas, people of color are the majority of the population, but are policed by majority white law enforcement agencies, a trend that is national, according to a new ABC News investigation.
What people have to recognize is that the institution of policing is inherently biased against people of color and low income. And it was designed to be that way. Okay? It's been that way for over 400 years.
According to an ABC News Washington Post poll, only 10% of Black people think that police treat Black and white people equally. And advocates say one of the reasons some African Americans are mistrustful of police stems from the fact that in many localities, the police forces don't reflect the diversity seen in the communities they serve.
Prior to becoming a police officer, I had some bad experiences with them. I was harassed on a couple occasions. My family were harassed on a couple occasions.
An ABC News investigation with our own stations found striking racial disparities in most metro areas around the country between the racial makeup of police officers, who are often overwhelmingly white, and the demographics of the communities they're supposed to serve and protect. In 99 of the nation's 100 largest metropolitan areas, the share of officers that are white is larger than the share of residents who are white. That's according to our investigation's detailed analysis of census data. And in 6 of those American cities and the surrounding metropolitan areas, including Pittsburgh, Knoxville, and Spokane, 9 out of every 10 police officers are white. Recruitment of minorities has become more of a priority for police departments in recent years, but a leading organization of Black law enforcement officers claims the efforts are falling short and in some cases are misdirected.
The research we've conducted, and we've done this both on a local level as well as nationally, gotten the same results. What we found is that they are not making any kind of substantial connections with the core constituencies in the community, NAACP, the Urban League, the Black and Latino churches.
The issue of diversity comes amid calls for police reform, where departments are under intense pressure like never before, facing a spate of explosive issues. It feels like this is one of the most challenging times for police ever. Is that true?
Oh, I don't think there's any question that this past year has challenged police in ways that they never have. You know, from COVID-19 to the George Floyd tragedy, to the demonstrations that occurred. And then all of this time, violent crime has been spiking in ways we haven't seen in 10 and 20 years, all across the country.
The Minneapolis region where George Floyd was murdered by a white police officer, 88% of law enforcement officers are white, with minorities holding less than 12% of police jobs, even though people of color are 26% of the population. In Portland, Oregon, disparities are even more striking. People of color representing 28% of the population, with law enforcement 93% white. For example, Latinos are 12% of the region's population, but only 2% of the police force rosters. In San Jose, 36% of the community is Asian American, but only 10% of the police force are. Some cities have department rosters that more accurately reflect local racial demographics. Among them, New Orleans, Jackson, Mississippi, San Diego, Baltimore, Honolulu, and San Antonio. Ryan Tillman, a corporal with the Chino, California Police Department, says he sought a career as a police officer in part because he believes diversity can ease racial tensions.
And it also helps kind of de-escalate situations without even opening your mouth. Does it always work? No, but in my experience, I've seen that when you can relate to the people that you're serving, it helps our job tremendously.
Our thanks to Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas for that report.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.